All right, what is going on today, chat? What up, what up? Mike, what is going on? We are back, baby. We have defeated, knock on wood, we defeated the TikTok lords to get our account back. Will, welcome. We have finally made it back. Cass, welcome. I'm doing good, man. Back from vacation. Came back from, went to Colorado for the first time. Was pretty dope. Lightning, Ron, welcome. So, definitely deserved, for sure. I definitely needed a little bit of a break, I feel like. Did I get a bunch of cards in? Are you talking about for tonight's review? I have to make up for last week, man. Or last 2 weeks. I got shadow banned by TikTok randomly, and I was on vacation last week, but man, it was a whirlwind of emotions. And then, of course, TikTok gave me the most absolutely basic answer. Like, oh, we're just like, you know, we're just revoking permissions just randomly. And I said, all right, well, I guess I'm either coming back or I'm not. And here I am. We're back. Or in general, like how many you get for the channel. Man, Ron, you might call me a slow man reading, but if you're talking about for a grade review, I definitely got a bunch in. If you're talking about grading submissions for myself, I just got back a small little PSA order. And oh, there is one. Let me see if I can pull it up, because I showed it on my Instagram, but I don't know if you guys saw it. Give me 1 second. Because there is a submission that I have in right now that is absolute gas. And it's going through the QA right now. And just before I dox myself. So we always got to be careful with that. You guys don't need to see where I live or my credit card information. But here's what I got currently in submission. It's a little bit faded, but basically we got, you know, a little bit of a first ed Zard in the works, as well as a Gold Star Zard. We out here. Those are currently being graded right now. Let's see. Ooh, we can even do the. Here we go, chat. Here we go. We got the little Charizard Gold Star action coming in hot. So we got that in PSA right now. It's in the QA, and then this bad boy, the creme de la creme, the OG boy himself, the first Ed Zard. Ooh, here we go, boys. The first Ed. That's what I'm excited for. But this one's finally it's in QA, so hopefully, fingers crossed, hopefully I should have the grades, because this one I had to submit, it'll actually be really interesting. This one I had to submit in the Super Express tier. So I assessed this Zard, so I did my own grade review, as I talked about before. So this one I assessed as a 5, this Zard. And then the other one was assessed as an 8. A 7 or an 8. It was really the centering, and there's some whitening that I didn't know about. But, Betty, what up? She is awakened from the nap, chat. Betty, the infamous Snorlax of our group. Always taking a nap. I'm kidding. But yeah, super excited. And this one is actually interesting because the Super Express gives grader notes. So I don't know how the grader notes will be, but we will see. So those will be hopefully coming back. It says that both the first Ed Zard and the the Gold Star should be back on the 15th of July, so next week. So that'll be pretty sick to see what those come as. So this was the other one. Let's see. Oh, well, there's the pre-grading image. But yeah, that's pretty sick. So both of those are in there right now. And then I also have a first ed Shadowless Blastoise and a first ed Shadowless Venusaur in as well, but those images haven't been uploaded quite yet. But well, hopefully you guys have been good, man. It's been a while. It's been 2 weeks, guys. It's been 2 weeks. And I was actually talking with Betty and Mike and a few other people. We've been doing this for over a year, guys. This is like episode 73. It's been crazy. Time has been flying by. So I'm glad you guys, you know, keep coming back. Appreciate you. Never leave us. Well, if TikTok doesn't just decide to, you know, press the button of like, oh, Galaxia gave my card a 6 instead of a 10 like I was asking for. Okay, we're just going to, you know, we're just going to block his account, I think. I want to send some base cards in for the channel for free, that possible. Yeah, it's always free. You go to the grade review channel. Why you get... Honestly, John, I have no idea, man. I just, like, literally 2 weeks ago, I was going to start stream like I normally do, and then I just got, like, a suspension or revoked status. And then I was like, oh, let me go check on that. And my account had no flags, it had no ban appeals or anything, and I was like, huh. And then I looked at Steam, because I use Streamlabs, and they're like, yeah, this is just randomly happening to people, and we don't know why. Submit a ticket to TikTok. And I submit a ticket to TikTok, and they're like, oh. And then, like, they responded, like, a week later. And they're like, oh, we just decided to revoke your access. I'm like, okay, I've been streaming for like 8 months doing this method. Why all of a sudden? And then they literally copied and pasted the exact, you know what? We're doing it. Let me see. Let's see. Make sure I don't leak myself here. So this was the actual message that they sent me. You guys are in for a treat. So this was the actual message. So it said, hi, thanks for reaching out. Currently, this feature is limited to a select number of users. We actively working to expand its availability to a wider audience. And this is where I said, I've had access for almost a full year. It was suddenly pulled from me through Streamlabs. Why do I no longer have access? And they quite literally copy and pasted the exact same response. I was like, I'm done. I couldn't believe it. I was like, that's crazy. So they literally copy and pasted randomly, and here we are. So before I talk too much crap about TikTok, we're back. So whatever TikTok Lord or whatever entity gave me this access back, I appreciate it, but don't do it again. So we are back. So enough yapping. We are going to go into grading. So for those of you who are new here, welcome. This is what we like to call in the Galaxia gaming space, grade review. So what this is, in a nutshell, is community members submit their cards for a free grade review. Because right now, PSA submissions are anywhere from $15 to $18 to $20 to $200 per card, per submission, when you try to submit. And this service allows you to have basically a second opinion. I've been doing this for a while. I keep track of all my grades. And so far, the accuracy has been pretty good. Obviously not 100, but as close as we can get. It's subs first. Yes, John. Yep. But how it works, because since I had last, 2 weeks ago, have some issues, we're going to basically do that as though we're 2 weeks ago. So apologies, because the stream and the ban was very unexpected. So I'm basically starting back, but yes, moving forward after I kind of catch up from last week's debacle, things will be moving as normal. But yes, so yeah, so I'm basically going to go over from start to finish with each card what I think these cards would get as a PSA grade. But you know, if you don't want PSA, which is totally fine, most of what I'm going to be talking about can translate over to pretty much any grading company. Because I don't know if you guys have been seeing this, but I've been seeing a lot of videos saying like, I submitted this to GameStop and I pulled these pack fresh and why did I get an 8 or a 7? It's like, well, there are a lot of different factors that basically doesn't guarantee a 10. Just because you opened up out of a fresh pack does not equal a 10. So we are going to be basically going over that for a lot of folks and hopefully saving you guys some money if you decide to not submit. If I think a card's like a 9 or an 8 or whatever, and you wanted something better, it just gives you more information to do with what you will. In addition, if you guys have any other questions or anything like that, this is pretty much an open forum. Think of it as like an Ask Me Anything type of thing related to Pokemon, and I'll be more than happy to give my takes. I am a certified yapper, so if you want my take, that is what you're going to get. Betty, Mike, and others who are frequent flyers of this channel can definitely let you know that I am a glorified Elite Four member of Yapping. So we're going to go into the first bad boy, which is the Chinese promo Pikachu. So out of all grading, There are 4 main grading criteria we like to focus on in this chat and all of grading, which is centering, corners, edges, and surface. And we're going to be considering all 3 today. And first, we are going to not show that. Pull not promo. Okay. Let's see. Oh, I was getting, you know what? I was getting mixed up with another one. My apologies. You are correct. So let me do one of these bad boys. So I like to do this for at least the first card of the night. So this one is actually from a subscription. So we're starting with the subs first. And this one was submitted by Cass Larrabee. So we got a lot of Captain Pikachus here. So let's take a look. So as we zoom in here, the first thing we're going to do is check the centering. So left and right, top, bottom, look pretty solid, to be quite honest with you. So I'm not really too concerned about the centering on that. So let us dig a little bit deeper with our handy dandy magnifying glass here. So top right corner looks good. Maybe a little bit of whitening, but that might just be either a little bit of fuzz or something that we might see a little bit more definitively when we flip it over. So we'll have to kind of keep an eye on that. But I think that's fine, probably fine. Top right looks good. That top edge looks good. Top left corner, good. Left edge, good. Bottom left corner. So far, so good. The only thing that I don't know, that this might just be because of the camera flash or whatnot, is this bad boy right yonder. So this section right about here. So I'm not too sure what that is. It's probably just the dimpling of the card, making it kind of look like that weird, like off. This is a stamp? Ah, look at you guys teaching me, because honestly I have never seen this card. Like I've only seen it in a few submissions for grade review, so have that stamp. Oh, well, there you go. So we are going to ignore that. It's a Pokemon indented. That's so cool. Yeah, I really need to get better at look, because the Chinese cards are definitely popping off as of 2025. So thank you, chat. See, you guys, I need you guys more than you think. So bottom edge looks good. That right side looking good. Chris, what's going on? Surface is looking a-okay to me. So yeah, the front of this card looks really clean. So let's flip it over. And so far at first glance looks okay. Yeah, it's crazy, Betty. Especially like if you guys have been seeing that that new Chinese exclusive Mew popping off. Whew, that thing's been going crazy. So let's take a look at this bad boy. So the only thing that I see, well, it seems like now, Chris, like the Chinese cards have been kind of going a little nutty. It seems like they've been really doing some crazy exclusives, like the Chinese Mew exclusive that's come out. It has like a limited print run, but pretty nuts. Okay, so there are probably 2 things that I see here. The first one, so outside of the centering looks fine, but really the thing that I'm kind of nervous about, to be quite honest with you, is not that random red mark. Oh yeah, definitely look it up, Chris. That Chinese Mew is insane, dude. Definitely look that up. You'll just look up Chinese Mew and you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. So right in this section, right here. So we're gonna just kind of do zoop. So right within this green box, there is a pretty notable print line, kind of going right down the middle here. And I'll kind of do a Control Z here so you guys can kind of see a little bit closer. You can kind of see a little bit of some whitening there, so that's probably a bit of surface scratch there. This is a Chinese card art. And then we also have a little bit of whitening on that bottom part. So we have 1-2 bits of whitening there. So I would probably say if it was maybe 1 bit of whitening and not this print line, you might have kind of what I like to call a gambler's 10. But I think with that print line possibly being on the back within this kind of green rectangle, in addition to these 2 bits of what appear to be whitening on the bottom, your chances of this being a 10 are pretty slim in my opinion. So I would probably assess this just from the back alone, probably be more of a 9 than a 10, specifically because of those whitening, the bit of whitening on the back. It's a tough pill to swallow. I know. But it is one that we have to take into account. You nitpicking? Well, that's what PSA is going to do, Cooper. It's not me, my brother. But that's what they're going to do. And people tend to, think just because a card comes out of a pack means that it's a PSA 10. And in most cases, that is not the case. So we got to be nitpicky. I know it's a tough pill to swallow, but trying to save everyone money instead of submitting that and getting a bad grade. I haven't really done anything related to Pokemon in a while, but I got out of the hobby for a bit. Honestly, Chris, that's probably a healthy thing to do, in my honest opinion. Right now, Pokemon's in a really weird state, and it's just you gotta stick with people who just really are into it for the community and kind of just love to talk about Pokemon. That's what I try to do, at least. I do standard, vendor POVs and stuff like that, but it honestly gets kind of exhausting to kind of hear about MSRP this and stock this or undervalued card here. There's so many channels that do it. It just gets exhausting. I felt, especially during my vacation, I felt every time I picked up my phone, it's man, I just feel so exhausted. All these people saying undervalued card this or overhyped card that. It's just a lot, man. So I feel you. So sometimes it's healthy just to take a little bit of a break, to be quite honest with you. All right, so next up we have 2 from Mike, who is now a pilot tier subscriber. So thank you, Mike. I just only collected cards I wanted in my childhood. I hear you, Chris. That's why my PC is just like my childhood. I basically just did the Gen 1 Pokédex. And I just chose, from Gen 1, the variant I liked. So, for example, the, Raichu, I know there's one from base set and Fossil, but I just chose the base set one because I like that. Gonna send some pics in by today. Awesome, Ryan. Awesome. I'm glad to see you back. I'm glad the DM actually worked. So welcome in, man. Now you get to kind of see what we're all about. How do you check values of Chinese cards? I would say for Chinese specifically, because I don't think that TCG Player has any, because I know they have a Pokemon Japanese category now, but I don't think they have one for Chinese. So I'd say your best bet would probably be price charting or eBay last sold. But if you're going to use price charting, just take a note that, some of the listings, just verify that they actually are realized sales. But that's the only thing that I can think of. But eBay is probably going to be your best bet. Just type in the variant and then just have Chinese as the language and then just look at last sold. Collector app is starting to track prices and sold listings. Oh, okay. Does it also realize? I think that's the reason why I like alt, is because it actually tells you, obviously for graded, not for raw, but it's nice to show oh, this actually didn't get realized, or oh, it got relisted or whatever. It's kind of nice. If Collector does that, then that's really cool. But yeah, pretty much anything that tracks that stuff in a centralized area is really good. All right, so Mike, we are up next with some more Chinese exclusives. So this one is the Leafeon. Again, more Evolution sets. I think China had their own. I can't remember the name of this one specifically, but I know they had a kind of a very similar to Evolving Skies, but the Chinese variant with their own artwork, which is really nice. So let's take a look at this Leafeon. Gem Volume 2. Okay. So centering on this bad boy, looking good, looking fresh as always. Seems like your cards are always, and I think you mentioned that you upgrade your lighting, which is always cool. Now I don't have to throw around the excuses that a shadow is whatever. So you're stepping up your game, Mike. So corners look good, edges look good. Nothing really standing out. Not seeing any print lines in at least the illuminated section. So that is good for you. And the back, let's take a look, my friend. Centering looking good, looking fresh. Top right corner looking good. Oh yeah, Chris, these sets are really good. The Chinese cards, like I said, have definitely been stepping up their game for sure. If you haven't looked at them in a while, Chris, I definitely would recommend it. So top right corner looking good, top left corner looking good. Let's see. Left edge looking good. Bottom left corner looking good. This one did go to PSA. Perfect. But I think that this one is a pretty good... I do, Taco. Yep, I can explain that once I'm done with this card. But yeah, this card is really clean, dude. I'm honestly glad he submitted this, because I think this one... I don't see anything in the corners. I don't see anything on the edges. I think you have a pretty strong 10 contender here for sure. I don't see any print lines on the front. I think this one's a pretty good one. But yeah, Taco, if you are wondering how to submit your cards for a future grade review, or if anyone else is trying to look at how to submit your cards for a free grade review, here is how you do it. So I am multi-streaming tonight. So I stream both on Twitch and TikTok. Both have their own unique viewing experiences. So if you watch me on Twitch, you get to see my face cam and my everything else, a little bit bigger screen. So that is going to be in the description below for the link that you need to click, and TikTok is going to be my bio. So if you click said link, you're going to go to my link tree. Next, you're going to click or tap the Discord icon, which is on the top. Next, you're going to go into the grade review channel and submit your cards absolutely for free for a future grade review. So I do this every Wednesday, starting at around 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern. Today was a little bit later because, again, with all my weird issues that I've had last week, I just wanted to make sure that this was going to be smooth. But normally it starts at 7 o'clock. But the only thing just to kind of keep in mind, even though it is free, it is first come, first serve. So the faster you submit, the faster you'll get into the queue. And in addition, you can submit as many cards as you want, but I'll only review up to 5 cards per person per stream. So if you submit 20, I'll only review the first 5, and then the next 5, so on and so forth until you're done. So there is a little bit of a queue. However, if you want to support me as well as get priority grade review along with some other perks, the server does offer subscriptions, and the subscriptions have finally been updated. So the cheapest option is $2.99 instead of the $4.99 it used to be, which that will give you priority grade review along with some other perks. But there are also higher tiers that give you more perks as well as some better opportunities, such as more entries in future giveaways, so on and so forth, which we actually have a giveaway active currently, which will have a drawing on, it looks like July 22nd. So if you guys want to enter in for our kind of mystery box giveaways that I normally just reserve for giveaways specifically, you can have more entries into this as well, amongst some other things. So that is available if you want it. And that is how you do it, my friend. So again, definitely appreciate that. Alberto Rodriguez, thank you for the follow. Nico, welcome. Yo, welcome. Welcome in, guys. If you guys are enjoying yourself and you want to help appease the TikTok algorithm lords, definitely suggest liking the live or sharing the live. Really appreciate that. Makes TikTok know, hey, this guy's all right. So I appreciate that very much. All right. So next, Mike has another. We have number 2 of the captains. Captain Pikachu at your service. So let us take a look at this bad boy. Says you have 20 subs, asking for grading. Will there be no non-subs? So say if you have 20 subs asking for grading. Yeah, so basically how it works, I haven't had that problem yet, John. So yeah, so basically if 4 subscribers submitted up to 5 max, it would be a sub, basically a sub-only week. But if that happens consistently, because I just adjusted all the prices, so I made basically one of them the lowest possible that it would allow, but that hasn't happened yet, and this is episode 73, so we'll see. If it becomes a problem, I'll adjust it, but yes, that could happen. Okay, what set is that? This is, let's see, I can't remember specifically. Sure. So this is, I think this is Gem Pack, I think. Yes. Gem Pack. Simply Soto, thank you for the follow over on Twitch. Appreciate you. What up? You get to see my Pokemon wall. If you guys haven't seen that, real quick, what up? So that's my big old Pokemon wall with all my cards in the back. So if your first time seeing me, what up? Here we go. Going right back into it. All right, so this bad boy. Let's take a look. Centering on this looks good. Some may say, which I would also say, the right side may be a tad thicker than the right, but it's definitely within that 55-45 range. So I'm not too worried about that. Corners look good. So that top right corner looks good. Top left corner looks good. so on and so forth. Don't see any print lines. Looking good, looking fresh. Put the fries in the bag. I wish I had some fries. Burger King fries or McDonald's fries, guys? I'm a big, honestly, I haven't had both in a while. It's been a minute. Let's see. Top right. That might be something. You might have to let me know, Mike, in this top right side. But with those little bit of a dots, but that's really all I see. And then this top left corner, let's see. Clean top right might be light. Yeah, so this one might be, I don't know, that might be lighting, to be quite honest with you, Bravo. But I definitely see what you're seeing, though. It might be a little bit of some light there on the top. And then the left side, yeah, basically, I mean, you've heard me say this before, but I think it's important to say in chat if you guys have, this is your first time here, rather. So one of the things that PSA will not do for you is they are not our parents, and they will not address things like little fuzzies. So this, for example, that little bit of white dot right there, they won't clean that off for you unless that one little survey actually goes through and they just decide to start cleaning cards. But so stuff like this, so like here or here or here, those little bits of kind of fuzz that kind of come from the cardstock being in the pack may have an impact on your surface subgrade. So although unlikely, it's always just better practice just to clean that off. But that's about it. The light is off to the left, so top left is light and top right is also light. Okay, so you are saying that this top left is light as well as, let's see. What do I clean it off with? Latching. Pretty much all I do, to be quite honest with you, is when I clean cards, I don't do anything that adds to a card. So all I use is distilled water, Q-tips, and or microfiber cloth, depending on what I'm actually trying to wipe off. But generally for something like this, these little like white specks kind of stuck on the back, so something as like a microfiber cloth that you'd use to clean your glasses, for example, is more than enough, to be quite honest with you. And if it's something really stuck on there, then you can probably use a little bit, very, very tiny amount of distilled water. Make sure it's obviously not sopping wet, of course, and just kind of wipe it off. I find that to be the easiest, to be quite honest with you. That's what I do for all my submissions, and I've never had any problems. So yeah, I would say if you're talking about this top left corner and this top right being more lighting than anything, especially on this top edge, I'd probably just be more concerned about these little bits of whitening kind of stuck across the card that, you know, you've been here long enough, you can probably just wipe those off. But really the only thing that I'm kind of really hesitant on is just these little bits of kind of cardstock that may be kind of coming off the edge here, that you might honestly want to try to see if you can remove by, I've seen a new technique which is pretty interesting, which is just taking painter's tape and just kind of rolling it in a circle kind of around your finger with the sticky side outward, and just kind of barely kind of rolling that across the top to kind of catch some of those little bits of little kind of dust, I guess, sticking out, or the cardstock sticking off the edge. I've seen a few people doing that. Anytime latching. When Beckett grade, is there like a little bit of piece of dust that would affect your grade? Yeah, so pretty much just think like, if you, like, a good rule of thumb latching is if you can see it, they can see it. So all these little bits of whitening, right? Like, so there are versions of this card, for example, that are 10s that don't have these bits of whitening, right? Like these little bits of dust or debris or whatever stuck on it. So the question is, you know, should this card be at that same caliber as a card that matches this in every way but doesn't have those bits of whitening, right? And so the answer should be no, right? So these can be removed, and you want to do your best to improve or like have your card be in the best position as it possibly can be when it's being submitted to any grading company, right? It's like first impressions are everything, right? So if they see this card and they don't see that, then your first impression is really good. Whereas if they did see that and you're like, man, I just wish that they wiped it off, you know, chances are they're not going to. So it's just easier to assume that they won't. So again, you come to the Yapia Gaming. So I will always do my best to explain my thought process on anything like that. So those are always very good questions, Latching. And if anyone has any other questions too, I am more than happy to answer as many as I possibly can. So I'm definitely an open book when it comes to Pokemon. I will definitely tell you my opinion on a lot of different stuff, for better or for worse. Embrace and User, thank you guys so much for the follows. Appreciate that very much. All right, Mike. So thank you as always, my friend. And we are going to go now into the non-subs, starting off with TK. So we are going into some Destined Rivals action. And before we do, I have a new giveaway active for non-subs and subs, which ends on, I think, the 22nd of July. And so it's free to enter. And the winner will be drawn on the 22nd and will receive one of our giveaway kind of exclusive mystery boxes. So it comes with Paldean Evolved, Obsidian Flames, 151, and a custom pack as well. So if you guys want to support me and the channel, definitely make sure to go to my Linktree, which is in my bio, and click that. In addition, if you want more entries, the Discord server does offer subscriptions, which gives you more chances to win that as well. So let's look at this bad boy Team Rocket's Moltres. Okay, because I pulled a Manga God Pack and PRB on One Piece. Nice. I want to get them Beckett graded. Nice. Yeah, so pretty much everything that I'm talking about Latching in this stream, it can carry over to any TCG for the most part. All right, Team Rocket's Moltres EX. Let us take a look. So far, centering looking good, looking fresh. No corner issues that I can tell. So with Modern, it's pretty quick because really the two main areas that kind of make or break 10s for Modern is centering and corners for the most part, unless your pack got really scuffed somehow. But the only thing that I can think of, and so I mention this every now and again, but I think this is worth repeating. So if you guys do not know, eBay is going to start allowing us to buy cards online in a ungraded state that I think is either above 200 or 250 declared value that can be submitted directly to PSA for immediate grading. So having said that, we have to be really creative and really vigilant on looking at cards online and how their pictures are taken. So one thing that I always keep in mind is the light source direction. So take this Team Rocket's Moltres, for example. So you can see all of this shadowing on the top here, which tells us, as kind of like a camera nerd here, that the light source of this card is coming from the bottom up, right? So when we look at any potential whitening or anything like that on the bottom, we'll have to consider whether or not that's lighting. So as we look on the top here, right, so the top corner looking good, you can kind of see that shadow, which I was talking about before. The left edge looks good, bottom left corner looks good. So as we look at the bottom edge, we really want to see if there's anything that sticks out. So here, for example, right, so we really kind of zoom in here. I actually might take a screenshot just to make it even more obvious on what I'm trying to look at. So right here in this section, that little bit of whitening there could be possibly lighting and not whitening on the card. The reason why I say that, it might be a little bit difficult because I can see it more on my monitor, or if you guys are on Twitch, you might be able to see it a little bit better. But this light area is probably outside of this blue edge. So my assessment, or my guess, is that that is more likely just the lighting kind of hitting this card and making it look like a bit of whitening, in addition to the background surface here. So like, for example, this might just be this whole concrete whatever section. And then this right here is most likely just lighting from the card. Now this is a bit of what I was just talking about with the previous card. That's a little bit of dust or debris or something like that that could just be wiped off, would be my guess. But I'd say really the only thing that I can see is probably just that little bit of whatever whitening or dirt, debris, whatever that is, kind of stuck onto the card. Just wipe that off, and I think that this has a pretty good shot at a 10, my friend. So I think you have a really good shot here. And again, just kind of do that once over 2 on the front. But that's just a word for the wise. I have a Mega Beedrill that I got from the collection box that looks very clean and great. Awesome, Sam. That's sick. Grade my card. You know what, Luba? I will. And I'll actually tell you guys how to submit your cards for a future grade review. Lyle, thank you. Let's see. Let's see, any recommendations on how to wipe stuff like that off? Honestly, Ryan, all I do is just use like a microfiber cloth or a Q-tip with some distilled water if needed. But more often than not, for especially stuff like this, you can just use a microfiber cloth that you'd use to like clean your glasses and just take a quick once over, to be quite honest with you. Shonda, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. All right, guys. So if you guys are wondering how to submit your cards for a future grade review, I'm going to go over that really quick. So if you guys are watching me on Twitch, which I am multi-streaming to as well, you just go to the link in my description for my link tree. If you're watching me on TikTok, you're going to go to my link in my bio. Once you are there, you're going to go to my link tree and go right here. You're going to click or tap that Discord icon. Once you get navigated to the Discord, you're going to go to the grade review channel. Then you're going to submit your cards in the grade review channel. Just make sure to follow the rules by making sure that your cards are well lit, have a black or dark background. Lyle, thank you for the follow over on Twitch. Thank you so much. And just make sure that your pictures are clear outside of top loaders, sleeves, all that fun stuff. So once you send your pictures, it's absolutely free and forever will always be free to submit your cards for a future grade review with some caveats. So since it is free, it is a first come, first serve. So if you want your cards assessed as soon as possible, make sure to submit your cards as soon as possible, because I stream every Wednesday starting at around 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I go in order from top bottom. In addition, I will only review up to 5 cards per person per stream, so you can submit as many as you want. You can submit 20, 200, whatever. It doesn't really matter. But I will only review the first 5 of that week if you are up next. So there is a bit of a queue sometimes, because this is a rather popular series that I do. But if you want your cards assessed faster, if you want priority grade review amongst some other good perks of the channel, the Discord server does offer subscriptions starting at $2.99. It used to be $4.99. It is now $2.99 a month to get priority grade review along with some other really good perks. So if you want to support me and help the channel grow, that is a way to give back. I tried to price it as low as I possibly could, so it is not required, but it is very much appreciated if you want priority grade review among some other cool perks. And that is my TED Talk. Shonda, I think I said thank you already. Andy, I really should have you check out my Mega Rayquaza EX for grade. I would love to, Andy. I'm a big fan of Rayquaza, and if you guys don't know, you want to have some insider lore, Pokemon just, I believe, got copyright of a new name, a new set name, indicating or suggesting that a Rayquaza set is coming up in the near future. So Rayquaza might be looked at a little bit more closely than it already is here in the coming months, so keep an eye out for that. All right, so next up we have, let's see, so we just finished TK, now we're on Klingo with some big old ponchos, so let's take a look at those. And there's my really bad TikTok support email. So let's take a look. Emmy, thank you for the follow if I have not said so already. All right, so we got some ponchos, some baby ponchos. So when people call baby ponchos, we kind of see these just standard versions, and then the regular ponchos are the full arts. Just graded Rayquaza from Emerald and got a 9. That's awesome, man. Like from Emerald, like the EX, like the Rayquaza EX, John? If so, that's a pretty sick one, man. I love that card, the Rayquaza EX. Oof. But I don't know if it's from Emerald or not. I feel like it is. But anyway. Let's look at this baby Pikachu Poncho Charizard. Hector, thank you for sharing the live. Appreciate that. No, the holo. Oh, okay. Let's see. So first, centering looks good. but we definitely have some room for improvement. Now, if you guys were watching the last few, we're going to cover some. So if you want to try to see if you are about to predict what I'm about to cover, let me know in chat. Let's see if we can work on this together. So let's see if you guys, first off, does anyone see anything that I possibly see within the picture area that's really kind of sticking out like a sore thumb, to be quite honest with you? And if not, no worries. I'm going to highlight it here in a second. So what I am seeing is the dirty, dirty boy right there. So we got a little bit of dirt here. So definitely wipe that off. So that black dot, that most likely looks like some dirt, so we want to wipe that off for sure. That's the first thing that stuck out. But let's look at the corner. So the top right corner looks good. So that top right corner looks good. Top left corner looks good. The bottom left edge, I'm not too sure what this is, but might be something stuck onto the card in that little, like right about here. So like right there, a little bit of like a, I don't even know what that is, a little bit of something there. I'm not too sure if that's whitening or what, but got a little bit of something going on there. And as we go on the bottom edge, that's pretty much it. So we also, what appears to be some dirt here as well, but that might just be the cardstock. I'm not too sure, but right now I'm just kind of looking at the text, seeing if there's anything else. Because if we see some dirt in one spot, chances are it does exist somewhere else. And so far, I don't see anything. So if we kind of zoom out here, that's what I'm seeing so far, is a little bit of dirt here in the text area, right here on the bottom, a little bit of dirt in the art box, and the bottom left, a little bit of whitening, well, what appears to be a little bit of whitening on that bottom left. You kind of see some more angles here, kind of showing a little bit more of what I was just talking about there in that bottom left-hand corner. So let's flip it over, and we do see some whitening on the top here. So we see one right there. But aside from that, looks well centered. The corners so far look good, with the exception of possibly that bottom left corner. But yeah, it's really just that top one and the bit of dirt on the front. So I legitimately think that you can probably get rid of these bits of dirt here in the text area and the picture area. So if you can get rid of those and possibly the bottom left, you're probably looking at like a 9, because I only see that one bit of whitening here on the top. But the less you can remove, you know, you're probably looking at like an 8, because I really do feel like you can probably just get rid of this, as well as what appears to be over right in this section. So probably like anywhere from like a 9 to an 8, like 8 being if you can't clean, 9 if you can, would be my guess. Because I think also this little bit, that looks like you can probably wipe that off too, this section right here. But maybe not this, I'm not too sure. If you can't get rid of this, definitely an 8, for sure. Let's see, the Flareon EX. Those EXs are very tough to grade. Yeah, I can imagine. I've seen these 10. I've also seen these 10. I've seen 10s, 9s, 8s, 7s. They all have a shot at a 10. So let us take a look at the Flareon EX from the Radiant Collection. Always a fan of these. So let's take a look. Centering looking good on the left and the right here. Yeah, I think that one might be a little bit too much, though, in my opinion. But I definitely know what you're talking about for sure. If you hear me call a card long distance 10, that's definitely me agreeing with you for sure. So top right corner looking good. Top edge looking good. Maybe something here on this like left side because it's a little bit lighter randomly, like as it kind of curves here. And just for more context, I'll kind of take a screenshot of this to show a little bit better what I'm talking about. And so what I'm suggesting is this section right there. So it's a little bit lighter compared to the rest of the cards. That might indicate something, but we have to keep that in mind. This might be something, but I don't know if that's part of the art. Sometimes it's tough because I've obviously seen a Flareon, but I don't know if that random black dot next to the heart is present on all copies or not. I genuinely don't know, but my guess is that it's no, because it kind of seems out of place. So the left edge looking good. Bottom left, the light source is coming from this direction, so this is just lighting. And here, nothing to be concerned about. Bottom edge looks good. Bottom right corner looks good. So yeah, really the only thing that I can see from this picture is just this possibly, more of a question mark here, and then this little dirt spot. Because these are part of the artwork, those little dots in the eyes. James, thank you for the follow, appreciate that. So let's flip it on over. And quick assessment here. Centering looks good. So let's take a look at this top right corner. So this, normally when I see a little bit of whitening here, this normally indicates kind of like those, what it seems like it's referred in the business as pack folds, like pack fresh, but they have like these little like pack indents almost. And this is what that kind of looks like to me, because normally when I see something like, kind of focus on that. So normally if I see like bits of whiting on like the top corner and the bottom of like a specific side, that normally indicates from a picture perspective that that's a pack fold. So we'll kind of have to keep that in mind as we go across the rest of this card. Maybe some surface stuff here, but again, because it starts to get a little bit grainy as we zoom in, so I can't really say for sure. This top part might be lighting, but also don't know. Some more kind of, again, the same thing here. I don't know if it's kind of the camera effect or not, but like right in this section, like right here, might be some surface issues, almost like kind of coming out of, in and out of a pack, but, or like a binder. But I think all in all, it's pretty clean, man, for this card specifically. No, not camera. Okay. You can see it in person. Okay, so if you can see that in person, then that definitely will take away from that surface. Additionally, I'm also seeing this right here on that Pokeball. I don't know what that is. That looks to be like something that probably be removed, but it's too hard to tell, in my opinion. You might be able to just kind of wipe that off. But I would say if you are suggesting that you can, I'm assuming it's your card, because everyone's names are different from TikTok to... Let's see. I'm just looking at some other factors here. Are you able to clean the surface when it's like that? It really depends, Sam. I know that's kind of a cop-out answer, but sometimes yes, sometimes no. If it's something like stuck onto a card, you can, but if it's kind of like actually removed that like blue ink layer to a degree, like imagine someone taking it in and out of a binder over and over and over again, then you really can't. I will go over that in just a second, Robert. So I would say if you can't see that, that is going to have some impact on the surface, but I don't think that's enough to make it like a 7 or a 6. Like, it's definitely not light blade for sure. But really the question becomes, you know, if it is a near mint or near mint plus at the end of the day for me. Meaning, you know, if that is present, I don't think it's mint, you know, because mint cards like kind of are reserved for pretty much pack fresh, which I'm sure this is, but excuse me. But I do see a little bit of dirt here, which again I think you could probably wipe off. But I'd say with with this mild, and it looks mild to me. I don't think it's enough to be a 7 because the corners are good, the centering is so good on the front and back, and I think you can probably get rid of this. So I'd probably suggest that probably get an 8 with this mild kind of surface issues on the back, because it doesn't look that bad on camera or on the picture you sent. So I'd probably suggest an 8, as long as you can also clean this up too, because since that's on the front, we want to get rid of that for sure. If you can't, then that might give you, you know, probably like a, I don't know, probably like a 7, to be honest. But let's see. So yeah, Robert, like Sam was suggesting, which thank you, Sam. The link is in the bio, my friend. And if you just go to the grade review, or if you click the Discord, you'll go to the grade review channel, and then the grade review channel is where you submit your cards. Para, thank you for the follow and sharing the live. Thank you so much. And as always, if you guys are enjoying yourself and want to help me out, definitely suggest liking the live or sharing the live. Definitely helps out more than you know. The almighty TikTok algorithm lords love me some likes and shares, so if you guys don't mind, that'd be awesome. Okay. Sam, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that very much, my friend. All right, next up we have the Pikachu Zekrom promo tag team. So let's take a look. Hector, thank you for the follow. Centering looking good. Nothing that sticks out to me. Top right corner looks good. Top left looks good. Left edge looks good. Bottom left corner looks good. So the surface on this, and it's kind of tough when we look at these cards specifically, just because of the texturing. But the surface itself looks fine. I don't see anything that sticks out. So let's look at the back. So centering is good on the back. Not worried about that. Apologize for yawning. It's hot in my room. Top right corner looking good. Top edge looks good. Top left corner looks good. Let's see. Left edge looks good. That's just lighting. Bottom left looks good. John, I think you've been here long enough to know what I'm about to say. Probably just wipe that little bit of white dot off on that bottom border. So that should be good after that. And the only thing that I'd probably, and let me, before I open my mouth, let me just do this and zoom in just to kind of show you guys what I'm looking at here and see if that's even anything. Honestly, it might not be anything. No, it is. Okay, I thought it was on my monitor. Would probably be this. That, whatever that is here, just make sure that that's wiped off. This little black dot right there. So I'd probably just double check this. But aside from that, I think just those two spots that I noticed is the, so just kind of like zoomed out here just to help you focus on what to treat here. So this little bit of whitening right there, probably just wipe off. And then this guy right there. Try to get, if you can get those off the card, I think you are in pretty good shape. But those are the only 2 points that I see for your Zekrom there. And then last but certainly not least. Oh yeah, I bet, Sam. Tag teams and megas are going crazy. So yes. What kind of software do you use to do all these pre-gradings? Nathan, that is a great question. And it is pretty basic. So all I use, to be honest, so this is just, you know, me looking at the cards that you guys submit in the Discord, and I just put it in the browser. This magnifier tool is just a Chrome extension called Magnifying Glass Hover Zoom. And then for drawing and all that stuff, I find that the snipping tool baked in Windows is really good at doing, like, to kind of show you guys what I'm looking at on stream. So like doing like highlights and zooming in stuff and like going around. This is all just in the snipping tool in Windows. Did you say 10? No, not for the Zekrom. So just if you said that it lagged, so the thing that I was talking about is if you can get rid of, let me just do it one more time. So if you can get rid of this and this, I think you got a shot at 10. If you can't, then it might distance yourself, and you want to hope to God that they don't see it. But those are the only two things that I saw, were those bits of those two little dots. But I think that you can probably just wipe those off, and it's pretty clean otherwise, John, to be quite honest with you. But all right. So Mega Mewtwo EX. So I think this one is the first card that I want to measure. So let's do that real quick. Are there methods to remove those or fill them in besides cleaning? No. There are not. Any other method that anyone will tell you is probably considered alteration. And you might not even have your card get graded because of it. Just gonna be honest with you. But just honestly, just wiping them off with like a microfiber cloth, sir, is probably good enough, to be quite honest with you. Yeah, exactly, Nathan. And it's good too because eBay will let you start buying raw cards and sending them immediately to PSA here soon. Awesome, Nathan. I appreciate that very much. If you have any other questions, please feel free to let me know, because I'm sure others will probably have something similar. So like this, for example, the centering. So everyone has their own method of doing this. Everyone has their apps, blah, blah, blah. But this is a really quick and dirty way that I use when I have cards in person. I don't really necessarily do this when I'm buying, because I personally don't buy cards online with the intention to grade, because there's just way too many factors. But this kind of gives you a general idea on how centering works. So we're going to take the top part here, and I'll just refer to these as hash marks. Just makes it way easier to kind of explain on stream here. So we start from the top, and this green line is going to be our kind of our measurement tool. So we're just going to count these. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 tick marks on the top. And then on the bottom, it is 1, 2, 3, 4. So 4 tick marks on the bottom and 5 tick marks on the top. So what does that mean? Well, that will help us what we call the ratio of the card. So how you determine the ratio. So centering on the front per PSA's new standard is 55-45 ratio. So what we do is we add the top, which is 5 tick marks, plus 4 on the bottom. We have a total of 9. So we divide one of those sides. So we'll do 5, which is the top, divided by the sum, which is 0.55. So you want a grader that won't round this up to 0.56, because the moment that goes 0.56, and which would be 56-44 ratio, which technically would prevent you from getting the 10 just from centering alone. But if you got a nice guy or gal that doesn't want to round up, and you get that 55-45, that is the absolute maximum threshold that you can get to still be within a PSA 10 contention just from centering alone. So that's how you do that. Nathan, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. But the left and right look fine, so I'm not going to really worry about that. It's just the top and the bottom. Have you used ChatGPT to pre-grade your cards? No, but I think that'd be interesting. But I have not. Left and right look good. I'm not seeing anything in the texture, so that looks good. But the only thing... What kind of 8s you got, bruh? You know what kind of 8s I got. I got the kind that no one wants. Like Destin Rivals staff promos. So we have a little bit of some whitening here on the top that we do not want. So that is going to give us some issues there. So that bad boy right there. Yeah, I think it's a great tool when you're online, sir. I think that there is still some value in kind of knowing this stuff in your, like, kind of in practice, especially if you're going to your own card. If you're going to card shows, you will have such a bigger advantage knowing right away if a card can get a certain grade without having to rely on your phone or whatever. But I certainly think that, to your point, like if you're buying cards like on eBay or like TCG Player that has photos, I think it's a really good tool to use amongst others. But that'd definitely be cool to try. But yeah, I think with that little bit of whitening, this is probably a good example on what I like to call a long distance 10. So the back centering looks good. I don't see any other bits of whitening on the corners or on the edges. But it's just that one little bit here that I have seen cards that have that degree of whitening that have gotten 10s. But I've also seen cards with that degree of whitening get 9s or even 8s. So in this case, since technically the centering is within that range of getting a PSA 10, with the exception of this little bit of whitening on the back, I would probably consider this a long distance 10. But I'd probably lean more towards a 9 than the 10. But you do have the, ability to get one if the grader doesn't round up and the grader says, yeah, you know what, that's good enough. It gives you the 10. So I would probably consider this a long distance 10, but more like conservatively a 9 because that little bit of whitening on the back. Is this one stronger 10 than the Zekrom? Honestly, I think the Zekrom, if you can clean those two bits of dirt on the back, but it sounds like you've already submitted it, I would say that this Mega Mewtwo, has a stronger chance of getting the 10 than the Zekrom if you've already submitted them to PSA. If you haven't submitted them already to PSA, then if you clean the Zekrom Pikachu on the back like I mentioned before, then I think that one has a better chance than this one does. How do I submit Ether? I will go over that here in just a second, my friend. Do minor, very faint print lines get affected grade? It really depends on kind of the faintness of them and kind of like if they're clustered together, if they're widespread, if it's easy to catch with the eye. But sometimes yes, sometimes no. I don't want to have that be a cop-out answer, but yes, it will affect the surface subgrade for sure. Dude, if you get the 10, man, I would love... Oh, no, it's not yours. The only one I did not send in was a Flareon. Oh, okay. Yeah, definitely let me know, man. I hope for the best, but I'd say if you already submitted them, the Mega Mewtwo is probably going to be your best bet. Smokey and Cindy, thank you guys for the follows. Appreciate that very much. All right, so if you guys want to know, before I move on to the next submission, if you guys want to know how to submit your cards for a free grade review in the future, here is how you do it. So if you're watching me on Twitch, which I'm also multi-streaming too, the link is going to be in the description. If you're watching me on TikTok, the link is going to be in the bio. Next, once you are here, you're going to click or tap the Discord icon, which will be redirected to the Discord. And when you see the grade review channel, that is where you're going to submit your cards. The service is absolutely for free and always will be free, but there is some caveats. The first one is that it is first come, first serve. So the faster you submit your cards, the faster you'll get into the queue. And for reference, I do grade reviews every Wednesday starting at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time on most days. Additionally, I'll only review 5 cards per person per stream, so you can submit 20, 30, doesn't matter. But once you're up in queue, I'll only review the first 5, and then I continue on until your submission's done. So just kind of keep that in mind. In addition, make sure that your pictures are of good quality, well lit, dark background, not in a sleeve or top load or any of that stuff, to kind of, because the better pictures you provide, the better assessment I can give. So if you guys want your cards assessed faster, because sometimes there is a little bit of a queue, there are people that have been waiting, a few weeks, even a month before their cards are reviewed. The Discord does offer subscriptions starting at $2.99 a month. Used to be $4.99, but is now $2.99 a month, which gives you not only priority grade review each week, but also gives you some more perks. And the higher subscription you go, the more perks you get, such as more entries into a new giveaway that we're doing that's completely for free. You don't have to be a subscriber, but if you are, you get more entries into the giveaway, which is one of our mystery boxes that we give more for giveaways than anything, which comes with Paldean Evolved, Obsidian Flames 151, and a pack that we've made as well. So that is me done yapping. That's how you submit. So again, the subscription is not required, but is definitely appreciated if you decide to do so. All right, so thank you, Klingo. And next up we have, who is this? Oh, so let me, so it should be odds and evens. So let's take a look at odds and evens. Everyone pulling Destin Rivals in this. So we got Ethan's Ho-Oh EX from Destin Rivals. Let us take a look. Let's see. Shadow Ball, thank you for the follow. I appreciate that very much, my friend. So centering on this looks to be good. A little bit left heavy, but I think we're within that 55-45 range like I was talking about before. It's not bad. Corners look good. Edges look good. Not too worried about that, which is good. The back. Back looks okay. The only things that I'm a little bit worried about, but again, this might be lighting more than anything, is these little bits of whitening here, but I think, again, that's just probably lighting. Additionally, on this left side. That's why it's important to kind of take a picture with the darker background, so it makes it a little bit tougher for me to really give an accurate assessment. So kind of, I would say, have like a 10 with a little asterisk over it, to where just check these spots right here where I'm kind of showing with my mouse here. So on that right side as well as the left side, just make sure that that isn't whitening. But my guess is that it's a combination of the lighting and the background. But aside from that, also clean this little white speck off that, improve that surface score. But I think it's a pretty good 10 contender. I don't see anything wrong with it other than that. Brian and Real, thank you guys so much for the follows. Appreciate you very much. All right, so next up we have G Unit with some gold stars. Or not gold stars, gold borders. Man, I almost got everyone too excited there. So we got 2 Dialgas and 1 Palkia from Crown Zenith. So let's take a look. So, Dialga, V-Star, the first one. So the right side looks a little bit thicker, but again, I think we're within that 55-45 range. We'll just do a quick little measurement here, quick and dirty. Let's take a look. So probably turn that just 1 more degree, perfect, like that. Probably line it up right there. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5, so 5.5. And then on the left side, boom, boom, we got 1, 2, 3, 4.5. If I can I not put a dot? All right, can't put a dot. All right, there we go. So 5.5 on the right, 4.5 on the right, on the left rather, so 4.5 plus 5.5 equals 10. So then that's where we do the 5.5 divided by 10 is going to be 0.55. So that is right on the nose of being the maximum acceptable value for a 10 contender. Again, we're doing very loose measurements here, so gotta keep that in mind. Adrian, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that very much, my friend. So the corners look good, edges look good. Centering on the top and the bottom look fine. Kobayashi, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. And Adrian, thanks for liking the live. Appreciate you very much. So the front side looks good. It's really obviously like a card like this. A lot going on, especially looking at it on the computer. So it's a bit tough to see really kind of the intricacies of the surface, but I'm imagining it's probably fine. And on the back, how do you know how much to zoom in? When you're taking the pictures or when I'm reviewing? Waste, what's going on? Hope you're doing well. Gonna lurk and pass my day a little bit. Nice. It's the rare moment where you get to see me stream. Wow. Wowzers. Hopefully your day is good. Right now we are currently in a Yap session of looking at a Dialga V-Star. Trip, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that very much. But yeah, just a lot of whitening on this top part. Not whitening, lighting rather. So where you don't need to really focus on that. But aside from that, corners are looking good, edges looking good. And again, guys, this is more lighting than whitening on that left side. So that I'm not really too worried about that. Bottom left corner looks good, bottom right corner looks good. So honestly, like, this is probably a pretty good 10 contender. I'm not noticing anything crazy or major, especially on the corners. Like when you measure, how do you know how much to zoom in to match the IRL card? Honestly, man, like what I like to do is just like, so like when I do this, so I take a screenshot. I mean, again, there's going to be tools that everyone uses and everyone kind of has their own method. And honestly, I don't really buy cards ungraded online, like with the intention of grading. But I just kind of zoom into the max just enough to where I can like clearly line up like the tick, because this is just a snipping tool baked in Windows at the end of the day. Then I just kind of do my best to kind of line it up and just count. That's literally all I do. So then that's why we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5 on that left side, or on the right side rather. That's literally all I do. But centering looks good. I don't see any whitening, and I think most of this is just lighting, not whitening, but like on this side. In addition to the top here. So unless there's something else, I would say I don't see why it wouldn't get a 10. I don't see any whitening on the corners. Centering looks good on the front and the back. So unless there's something hidden in like the texture or something that we're missing or that's being obscured or hidden in the light, I think it'd probably be a good 10 contender for sure. And again, if you guys agree, disagree, I'd love to hear your thoughts. I see a few people saying some 8.2s, a rare grade for sure. Front is right heavy. It definitely looks like that for sure, Vincent. And again, that's why I always recommend measuring them in person, because again, I'm just using snipping tool baked in Windows. And based off of the measurement that I saw, it's right on the nose of that 55-45 ratio based off of the math that we ran. But I definitely agree that it is a little bit right heavy, but it might be within that threshold. But user, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. All right, so here is Dialga number 2, because G-Unit said 2 different Dialgas, by the way. So let's take a look at this one. So this one, the centering on this one is much better on the left to the right. The only one that I want to measure, actually, is the bottom. The bottom, at first glance, looks a little bit thicker than the top. So let's, again, use the handy-dandy snipping tool ruler here. Slick, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that very much, my friend. So so you guys kind of see this really janky ruler here. So yeah, really all I'm doing is just kind of zooming in enough to where I can kind of, like I hold the ruler, it makes it transparent, blah, blah, blah. So we start from the edge, we go from here to there. So we just count. We just do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tick marks on the bottom. And then we just kind of do the same thing on the top. So we just line it up probably about right about there. So we go zoop. So we go 1, 2, 3, 4 on the top there. So, right, so we got 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe like 4.1 or 4.2, but so technically, and again, that's why I always recommend to measure in person, because sometimes the angle in which the card is taken makes certain parts thicker than the rest. But if we were to kind of take this at face value, the bottom is 6 tick marks, the top is 4. So technically, on paper, from what we're looking at on screen right now, it's going to be 60-40 ratio, which the maximum this card could get if the centering is measured correctly would be a 9. If the rest of the card is purely flawless, there's nothing else wrong with it, the 60-40 ratio on the front would instantly lock it in at a 9 at best. So I'll have to kind of keep that in mind as we look at the rest of the card. And again, the lighting is kind of hiding a little bit here. I have a card for you to look at. Awesome, Slick. I'm always eager. How do I get you my card? Do I send a pic? Yeah, I don't think based off of what I'm seeing from measurement wise, I don't think this would get a 10 just because of the centering on the front, possibly being 60-40 ratio on the front from bottom to top. It's like once I am done with the Magneton I will go over how to submit your cards for sure. So just hang tight with me. I got 2 more cards. So the top right corner looks good. Again, this is all more lighting based off of when the picture was taken, so I'm not going to be really factoring that in. Manuel, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that very much, my friend. Left edge looks good. Again, more lighting effect kind of hitting this corner here because it just seems random and kind of sporadic. That's why I kind of say that way. Bottom left corner looks good. Bottom edge looks good. Bottom right corner looking good, looking fresh. So yeah, honestly, I think the biggest problem with this one is more the centering on the bottom being a bit thicker than the top. So this one I probably wouldn't submit, to be quite honest with you, because I'd probably expect a 9 at best. I don't think you'd get the 10, as long as the measurements are correct. Dr. Mac, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that very much, my friend. Okay, so this bad boy. So this Palkia is centering just by like what LC was saying. From an eyeball perspective, the left and the right, top and bottom, this one looks much better than the Dialgas, for sure, in terms of centering. So let's look. Lays, thank you for sharing the live and following, I believe. Thank you so much. So let's kind of take a quick snip here. Yeah, once I'm done with this Palkia and the Magneton, Nathan, I'll be happy to go over. Ooh, Waste sending some GGs. Thank you so much, my friend. If you guys haven't checked out Waste, I definitely recommend. If you are into Cyberpunk, Armored Core, and all things meme culture, definitely check out Waste. Definitely. Awesome person, awesome community. Definitely check her out. Gotta go. Have a good night. I know it's a rare occurrence. I appreciate you stopping by, Waste. And I'm sure I'll stop in for 5 minutes and say the exact same thing. So yeah, definitely check her out, guys. All right, so the Palkia. Let's see. So centering is good. Yeah, once I'm done with this, I will for sure go over, Nathan. So top, bottom, left, right, looking good. The surface looking good. Again, with these texture cards, it's pretty hard to kind of really see the definition. But let's see. Yeah, looks good on the front. On the back, let's hope for the best, and looking good, my friend. Nothing, I don't see any weird corner issues on the top right. I don't see anything on the top left. Maybe like these little bits of whitening here. Again, I'm kind of sounding like a broken record. I know. But this specifically, these little white dots, make sure to wipe those off with like a microfiber cloth. Again, something you use to like wipe off your glasses or something like that. You can just kind of wipe those off very gently. Or if you need a little bit of something else to kind of loosen that up, distilled water is your best friend, but don't use much of it. And sometimes that can just lift off very easily. I definitely have a lot of videos on how to do that. Even if you go to my link tree, if you go all the way to the bottom in the recommended, I have a card cleaning video that you can kind of see more in depth on exactly what I'm talking about. But yeah, the corners look good. Edges look good. So yeah, I'd say if you can just get rid of those little bits of kind of white fuzzies kind of stuck to the back of the card, I think this one, compared to the others, this one probably has your best shot at a 10. Where the second Dialga, more of like a 9, and then the other one is kind of like a long distance. Yeah, Emmanuel, once I am done with, we got one more, guys. Once I'm done with the Magneton, before I move on to the other submissions, I'll be happy to go over exactly what to do. Because again, this is a free service that I offer to the community, so just hang tight. I'll be more than happy to break down how to submit your cards for a free grade review. So let me just finish this Magneton, and I'll be more than happy to explain. So this Magneton is the Pokemon Center exclusive, so a little bit more prestigious compared to its non-promo or non-special edition counterpart. I need to look at my 151 Zard. Ooh, Bailey. Well, I'd be more than happy to help you out. Okay, so centering on this bad boy. Looking good. What app am I using? I am just simply using Chrome with some extensions. So magnifying glass hover zoom is this extension. Again, that's magnifying glass hover zoom, and I just use snipping tool baked in Windows. Right there, snipping tool. That's all I do, just zoom in, draw, maybe draw a little bit of a Among Us, a little bit of some sussy action. That's all I do. So centering on the front, top, bottom, left, right, looking good. Magnifying glass, hover zoom. Yep. Ma, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that. I'll go over that once I'm done with the Magneton, Bailey. And Oreo, thank you for the follow. Are you guys double stuffed fans or non-double stuffed for Oreos? Me, I am double stuffed all the way. If you eat the thin version, get out of chat. Get out. If you like the thin Oreos, get out. Double stuffed or nothing. So centering looks good. Corners look good. Surface looks fine. Smokey, get out. You're done. Get thin Oreos. What are we on, a diet? If I'm eating Oreos, I'm going big, boy. Let's see. Print lines. That's what I'm saying, Bailey. Welcome, Bailey. That's the kind of support I like to hear. If I'm going to be in an echo chamber, the echo chamber I want to be in is people telling me that they like the double stuffed. There you go, Bailey. You are in a safe space, Bailey. Express your love for the double stuffed. So front looks good. The back. Okay, so the back, I do see some issues, and we'll kind of break that down a little bit. So again, the top part, I think this is just lighting more than anything. So does Markiplier. Markiplier needs some milk too for that sweet, sweet calcium. Markiplier cannot live without sweet, sweet calcium. So Meat Canyon, for those of you who are uninitiated. Top right corner looking good. Top left corner looking good. Left edge looking good. The lighting looking okay on the left. Bottom left corner looking good. Now this is where I kind of have a little bit of an issue, which is right here in this bottom right side. So again, using the snipping tool, I'm going to zoom in. So this little bit of whitening here. So that is definitely a long distance 10 contender right in this little section here. So sometimes, again, I've sometimes seen just those pass by 10s. Some I've seen as 9s. But for something like this, you gotta kind of have to weigh your pros and cons if it's worth the gamble. But I would say that this card specifically, because the centering is good on the front and the back, I don't see any other major whitening issues on the corners. I honestly don't even see any little bit of whitening on the surface, just that little bit in the bottom right. So this one is what I like to call long distance 10 or a gambler's 10, where you might get the 10, but you might get the 9 as well, just because of that little whitening in the bottom right hand side. All right, so now that I'm done with the Magneton, I'm going to explain how you guys can submit your cards for a free grade review in the future. So as a reminder, I do grade reviews every Wednesday starting at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So I do this once a week. And so how you submit for a future grade review, this is how you do it. So if you're watching me on Twitch, which I'm also streaming on live right now if you want a different viewing experience, that link is going to be in the description. If you are watching me on TikTok, the link is going to be in my bio. Once you click or tap that link, you're going to go all the way up. I have a new buyer vendor POV video out, by the way, if you want to check that out. Really cool. I bought a Karen's Umbreon and funded a car. So if you're up here, you're going to click or tap the Discord icon. You are then going to be redirected to one of the coolest Discords in all the land. Once you are there, you're going to go to the grade review channel to submit your cards for a free and always will be free grade review. So a few things to consider. Please make sure your cards are of good quality, like in terms of the picture quality. Make sure that it's well lit, dark background, and not in a sleeve, top loader, or graded. I cannot review any of those cards if any of those are not true. In addition, since it is free, it is first come, first serve. So if you want your cards assessed as soon as possible, make sure to submit your cards as soon as possible. Because again, I only stream grade reviews once a week, every Wednesday. In addition, I only review 5 cards per person per stream, so you can submit as many as you want for free. So say, for example, you submit 20 cards, but when it's your turn in queue, I will only review the first 5 and continue in batches of 5 until your submission is done. So having said that, with the whole queue system and first come, first serve, I do have people kind of waiting even like a month out because the service is pretty popular. But the Discord server does offer subscriptions starting at $2.99 a month. It used to be $4.99, which gives you priority grade reviews. So subs always get priority over non-subs each week. So if you want your cards assessed faster, that is an option, as well as supporting me as a streamer. So it's not required, but it is appreciated. So that is how you do it. Pokey Fam Club, thank you for the follow, my friend. Thank you so much. Is there a default grade you get if these whitening? Kind of what I was talking about, kind of that Gambler's 10, to be honest, Rare. All right, so next up we got, it should be Reem. Nice, yep, we got Reem with some Legendary Collection. In my opinion, some of the best reverse holos ever made. So let's take a look. So first up is Weedle with a print line where the foil meets, but is still considered a print line in the hobby, which is going to be right here. So this bad boy right there, kind of going from boom all the way down. Probably green's not the best, but kind of what you're seeing right there. Centering is good. Now for these, this firework pattern makes it a little bit difficult for grade review on a computer because sometimes scratches are hidden, like such as one I just saw when I was saying that. So right here by the resistance, we kind of see one go right here, right in this section, right within that orange line. That's probably not the best color, but within this section there are some scratches. So my guess with the line, in addition to some scratches, my guess is that we're probably already at a 7, like an 8 or a 7 just on the front alone. Just kind of making some kind of context clues. And this doesn't really show me too much. Joined and submitted. Awesome, Slick. Thank you so much, my friend. But the back is definitely pretty rough. Because that is not the boss's way. So the back, we have a lot of problems kind of going on here, and I'm gonna have to take a quick snip shot here to really highlight, because there is a lot. So right off the bat, if we just looked at the front, like the best case scenario, we're probably at like a 7. Chris, thank you for the follow. Appreciate that very much. So we got a lot to look at here. So a lot of whitening. Right, so we'll just kind of start from the top right here. So this section, you know, it's very obvious, even from here to about here. We have some pretty notable whitening. Man, I'm just gonna honestly just not talk and just start circling, because I'm gonna just say whitening over and over and over again, because there is a lot of it. So, and again, that's why it's really nice to have the dark background, because if you guys want the most accurate assessment possible, the more clearer and the better backgrounds you have, the more I can see to give you guys the best assessment possible. What program is this? Honestly, it's just Snipping Tool baked in Windows. Yo, Galaxia, I have a card that looks absolutely perfect, but has a small whitening on the corners. Is it still 10 worthy? I would honestly, just to give you a really quick and dirty answer, Juggin, is probably a Gambler's 10 is what I like to call it. So I have seen, if it's just one very, very, very small amount of whitening, I've seen some that get 10s and some get 9s. So I wouldn't say for sure it'd get a 10, but I kind of call it a Gambler's 10. So if you're kind of feeling lucky, I would probably submit it. But if not, then I probably wouldn't. In most cases, for me, I'm pretty conservative in that sense, so I wouldn't submit it, but it's kind of up to you. Once I am done with a few more submissions, Angel, I'd be more than happy to kind of explain it. I just got done explaining it, but I will be happy to explain it here in a few other submissions. So you can kind of see here, if I kind of really zoom out, you can kind of see all of these kind of highlights here of all this whitening around the edge here. But the one thing that I do not see, which is really good, is creases or bends, which normally brings it to at least a 4 or worse. So this card specifically, since there is so much whitening on the back, we're definitely out of anything 7 or higher. So we're in the 6 to 5 range at this point. But I would say, especially for the amount of whitening, if there was a little bit less, especially on these corners here, so like this top right or the bottom right, respectively, in this kind of view, if these weren't as bad as they were, I would probably argue it'd be more of like a soft 6. But since there is so much whitening here on all 4 corners and all 4 edges, I'd probably lean this more towards a 5 than a 4 because of the severity, especially on those corners of whitening on this. And I think with the scratches, the print line here down the middle, and probably some more scratches we simply can't see just because of the card, I think a 5 is a pretty solid assessment for this Weedle. But now for this one, what I was mentioning, and I wonder, so we can kind of see the print line, but I'm wondering if you guys can see one thing that I just got done talking about the Weedle that I did not see, that I'm actually seeing on this one. And I'm wondering, while I'm waiting, I'm wondering if you guys can see what I see on why I think this card probably at best would get a 5 just from the front alone. So I'm wondering if anyone in chat can see it. Can you see what I see? Let's see, chat. Does anyone see what I see? Yes. You guys are correct. This bad boy right here. So, kind of zoom in here. So this dent right there, at best, the dent will probably set this card at a 5. And that's just if that dent is not that bad and everything else is flawless from the card. That dent alone is probably going to make that thing a 5 in the best case scenario. And we got, you know, print line down here. And my guess is that there's probably going to be more issues on the back. So you can kind of see some different angles here. And more of a perspective of this dent up here. You can kind of see where it goes. And this is, again, this is why we really need to take advantage of kind of where light sources are coming from when you're looking at cards online. So we have a little bit of a stain there, what it looks like by the eyeball. But when we look at the light source, you can kind of see it's light here, but then dark, light, then dark, then light. It tells me or indicates to me that there's a dip somewhere or a bend, which is true here, right? So you can kind of see that there. You can kind of see that here as well. So if we flip it back, and God, I have no idea what that is. I have no idea what these two are, and I do not want to touch it. So this card is pretty beat on the back, for sure. We got a lot going on here. So just for the front alone, we got a 5, and it's just going to get worse from here. We have whitening on all 4 corners, all 4 edges. The surface has a lot of scratching on it. Like, for example, this, like, that's just removed. That, like, blue layer on that surface. So that right there is removed. This, I have no idea what that is. But I'd probably say, like, it's definitely, like, at best a 4. I think it could be worse, so I don't think it's in one contention range. So it's probably anywhere between a 3 or a 2. And I think these honestly can probably be removed. This probably can just be wiped off, would be my guess. But I would probably say with the dent, the lines, and the whitening on the back, I probably would be leaning more towards a 3, assuming that you can get rid of these. If you can't, then you're probably at a 2. If you cannot get rid of what I kind of have circled here. So probably at best a 3 if you can get rid of those, at worst a 2. But I think it could be worse to get the 1, but I don't think it would. Because it could be a little worse. Because I've seen some pretty worse ones in my day. I have a base Blastoise base Zard and first edition Dark Charizard I'm thinking about sending into PSA. Awesome, man. Well, like I said, if you need a second opinion, the grade review that I do every Wednesday is completely for free. So if you want to know more, just submit your cards into the grade review channel in the Discord. Link is in the bio. That one was not the correct one. Let's see. Wrong one there. Another Dialga. It's like non-stop Dialgas. So let's take a look. Right side looking a little thicker than the left. So let's take a measurement to see if you are within 10 range, because normally for modern it's 10 or bust. That's just the way it is. But addition, I don't know. I don't know if you guys see this, but it seems like this card, it's probably the first time I've seen this on a modern card in one of these submissions. But it looks like there's like some dirt or something. So we have here, 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 and here. I don't know really what, I don't know if you guys can see those, but it's like weird stuff stuck on the edge there. I'm not too sure what that is. It seems too out of place to be like a reflection like these, but it might. I have no idea. It might be lighting, but if it is, it's messing with your camera for sure. So just kind of keep that in mind. I don't know if that's something actually stuck onto the card or not, but all right, so let's measure. Frisbee, thank you for the follow. Thank you so much. Let's see. So we have, so from here to here. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 on that right side. And then we got from there to there. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4. So that one is right on the nose. So 5 on the right side, 4 on the left. So again, that is 5 divided by 9. So you're at like 4. So you want to make sure that your grader does not round up. Because if they round up and go 0.56 or 56-44 ratio, you are cooked. But if they don't, then you are right at the limit. So just keep that in mind. And then the back, hey, I think those are probably your camera, because this one also is kind of like weird kind of camera aura on the back, which is very interesting. But top right corner looks good. Top left looks good. Left edge looks good. Bottom left corner looks good. Bottom right looks good. Let's see. I think you should be good. Unstable internet. Unstable internet? What do you mean unstable internet? You guys still with me? Hopefully. TikTok's getting mad at me. There we go. There we go. Perfect, thank you. All right, so yeah, I think this one's good. I think this is just like camera artifacting on that bottom part. Yeah, let me go over those steps real quick before we go over the final submission of the night, which is the Lugia, which is absolutely insane. First edition, mind you. So, let us... And this one's going to be interesting. Yeah, let's, yeah. So, Angel and anyone else, if you are wondering how to submit your cards for a future grade review, this is how you do it. So if you're watching me on Twitch, it's going to be a link in bio. If you're watching me on TikTok, it's going to be a link in bio as well. Once you are here, you're going to click or tap the Discord icon. Next, you're going to submit your cards in the grade review channel once you have joined the Discord. It is absolutely for free. The service will always be free. However, there are some caveats. It is first come, first serve, so the faster you submit, the faster you will get your cards reviewed. As a reminder, I do grade review streams every Wednesday starting at 7 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Next, you want to make sure that your pictures are clearly visible outside of any sleeves or protectors or slabs. I don't review graded stuff or anything in a sleeve or a top loader. This makes it difficult. So there are more instructions in the pinned comments of that channel. In addition, like I said, it is first come, first serve, so there is a little bit of a queue. So sometimes people are kind of months out, but if you want priority grade review over non-subscribers, the Discord server does offer subscriptions starting at $2.99 a month, which gives you not only priority grade review, but also gives you some other bonus perks, such as having more entries to giveaways, such as one that is active right now, which has 13 days left, which can also be found in the link tree towards the bottom near the Galaxy Gaming TCG giveaway. So this is a mystery box that I make for giveaways more or less exclusively. So it comes with some Pokemon packs, 50 value there, and if you subscribe, you get more entries into that. So there's a lot of perks for subscribing. It is not required, but it is appreciated if you decide to do so. So that is how you do it, my friend. So last but not least is the Lugia. Lugia First Ed. And I think by the picture, this looks a little odd to me, to be quite honest with you. Let's see. I don't know if it is the... It's really weird. I don't know if it's the picture or the way the picture was taken. Because it almost kind of looks grainy, but the card almost looks fake in a weird way. But I don't know if it's because of the camera or not. Because I'm trying to look for, like, tall tail signs. Because Lucas is actually saying the same thing. I have concerns on authenticity on this card, especially the color in the back. I have a lot of older cards, but no idea what's worth grading except 2 I know about. Yeah, if you want like price breakdowns as well, Frisbee, some of the Discord subscription options also gives you the opportunity to request price discussion as well, or a price review. So if that interests you, definitely check out those different subscription tiers on the Discord if you want more of like an in-depth analysis. Yeah, so I would say for this one, I think that this might be fake. And here are some now again, I think, and I'll probably actually message Lucas for a follow-up here to get a video of this card, but here are some of the things that I'm thinking as to why I believe this card might be fake. And let me just look up, just to make it easier, Lugia First Edition PSA 10. Because I want to do like a side-by-side here, just to kind of show you guys, and that's definitely not a good one. Let's see if we can find literally anything with a modern cert. Do we have one? We do. Alright, so let me just pull this up real quick. Just bear with me 1 second. I promise it will be worth it. I have a Gold Star, Holo, Vaporeon, Delta Species, Mew, but all the rest I got no idea on. Well, I think those two alone, Frisbee, are good. Are good cards to grade. Because most of the time, if you're going to submit something like that, people are going to give you a hard time on looking at comps. And so sometimes with like higher value cards, it's better to grade them just simply due to the fact that there's more sales data. To be quite honest with you. Okay, so let's do this here. So go boom. All right, so here is an authentic copy of a Lugia First Edition. Right, so we have the back. Right, so we have the back of this authentic Lugia, which is a PSA 7, and then we have this one. So the first thing that I notice on why I think it might be not authentic is the dots per square inch or the DPI of the print quality. So like you can kind of see here, they're a little bit thicker or a little bit chunkier, right? Some of these dot patterns on the back. I know I'm really kind of zooming in here, but I need to kind of drive home the point. So you can kind of see in this section, they're very large and kind of very like defined on the bottom. Whereas if you look at the authentic copy here, if I kind of just do even this here, right? It's not nearly as big or pronounced on the bottom, just at first glance. So if we're to kind of look at these, and I might actually just do this too. So if we were to kind of take these side by side here, and just give me 1 second, again, I think it's really important because right now, like the amount of like counterfeit cards is just crazy. So I'm really trying to make sure that I cover all of my bases here. And I'll kind of do these like as a side by side comparison. And I think this is as good as we're going to get. So let's see. So if we look at the back, so even though, you know, we'll have to kind of consider lighting as a factor, but you can kind of see just like the quality of like the print quality on the left side, which is the presumed fake, compared to the right, which is the real, right? Because this one's straight from PSA scan. So I would probably say with just this kind of like side-by-side comparison, I would say that the left side of this left one is probably fake, where the right one obviously is the control or the real one. So I think I will probably reach out to you specifically to get a video of this card, just to really give you more of kind of a genuine assessment. But just from the back alone, I think this is fake, because the dots per square inch is a really good indicator, just because it's so large that it's giving that away. So I know that just sucks that, you know, you bought this or someone even tried selling this to you. So, you know, hopefully you can get your money back if this is fake, but based off of what I'm seeing, especially on the back, it looks fake, to be quite honest with you. Smokey, this is someone in the Discord that submitted. This is Lucas in the Grade Review channel. Yeah, the color is off. The dots per square inch are huge compared to the right, which is the other. The right side is the control. This is another Lugia that was graded. But the left is very pixelated and kind of off in color. But I think a video would also help a lot too. But so yeah, I'm sorry, man. It really sucks. But hopefully you can get your money back. But I'll ask to have you submit a video so I can just kind of really be more definitive. But all right, guys. So that is Grade Review for the night. What up? I'm in my floral shirt today, feeling festive. So if you guys have not seen me before, hello. That's my big wall of Pokemon over there. I'm very hot. I don't have my light on. Probably should, but I don't. But yeah, the poor Lugia, man. Not doing hot. But well, I appreciate you guys being so patient with me. I took a 2-week hiatus, but for all the new people, welcome. I appreciate you hanging out with me. If you haven't already, make sure to like, follow, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I have a new POV video out in my link tree in the description. And as a reminder, I do grade reviews every Wednesday. So if you want your cards assessed as soon as possible, make sure to submit in the grade review channel in the Discord as soon as possible, because it is first come, first serve. So keep that in mind. So you guys are awesome. I appreciate all the love and support as always. And I'll catch you in the next one.